All right, let's double. Okay, I think we got the sound now. We should be good. Should be good. Cool. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Welcome in. We are live. Feels good. We are celebrating. We are celebrating 7 years in the cleaning business. And if you guys don't know, we have an online cleaning business. So we can't physically have a grand. Oh my God, you're killing me right now.
Sorry, since I'm watching as a person, I can't.
Oh, okay.
Either way.
You good now?
Yeah.
See, the problem with, so now we're streaming on, so if you guys are watching this on Instagram Live, we are streaming this from a platform which looks like a YouTube platform. So we really can't post comments or some of those issues.
You can't see, you have to click back.
I got to go back and forth to both to see how it's going to work. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I can pin that comment. There we go. Boom.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to make it work.
All over the place.
All right.
So if you're just joining us, what we're doing is streaming on Instagram and YouTube at the same time. But we've never done it before, so it's something different. But as Anthony was saying, I am Janoka, this is Anthony, and we are celebrating our 7 years of owning and operating a remote cleaning business. We've had it for 7 years down here in Dallas, Texas. We were using it as a means to get out of debt, and it's become so much more. We have been teaching students for about 4.5 years now on how to get their business up and running remotely, and we have students in over 40. Okay, we have students in over 42 plus states. Our students have hit over $10 million in revenue. And so we go live for a full week every single November just to celebrate that and give more knowledge, give more game as to everything that not everything, but a lot of things that we went through and what to look out for. On top of that, we are having our biggest sale yet. Our Black Friday sale is happening right now. If you're on Instagram, you can just type the word BF and receive it. If not, on YouTube, cleaningbusinessuniversity.com/learn is where you get access to our Black Friday sale. So,
so congratulations. Congratulations to us.
Okay.
Congratulations to us. Also, I wanted to congratulate one of our students, Brad. He had just hit 100K in 9 months. So definitely want to give him a huge shout out on that because that's the first milestone of many. So congratulations on Brad on hitting 100K. We owe you that plaque if you're watching this. If you watch this in the future, we got to get you over that plaque. So congratulations on hitting 100K in 9 months.
So yesterday,
showing people it is still possible.
Oh, okay. Yesterday we spoke about benefits of starting a cleaning business. If you didn't catch that, that is still on our Instagram page, also on our YouTube. You can catch the replay of that. But today we are focusing on managing the business as a 9-to-5, right? Outside your 9-to-5. We started this while we were doing our 9-to-5, straight up until maybe 3 months ago. Both of us Anthony retired 3 years ago, and I, up to 3 months ago, was working a 9-to-5. So we are not the couple or people that you see say, quit your 9-to-5, go all in on this. Do what you can gradually, figure it out, learn the business, and then you can make your own decision.
Yep.
So this discussion will be about managing the business outside your 9-to-5. As we know, maybe 90% of our students still have a 9-to-5 while they're running this. There's 3 things that we would say helps us to manage it outside of our 9-to-5, which is time management, leveraging automations, and building a support system. However, for this call, we're just going to focus really on the time management side of things. If we have more time, we could dive in a bit more into the automations and support system.
And the reason we're going to focus a lot on time management is because people like to jump ahead and not realizing exactly what they need before they get there.
Brad, is that you?
Oh, that is bad.
We just spoke about you. I don't know if it's you, but go ahead.
Congratulations. So people always think about, I'm going to hire a VA from day one, and that's how I'm going to manage this outside my 9-to-5. So you guys don't know, when me and Janoka first started this business back in 2017, we had 4 jobs, maybe 4 or 5 jobs. I say 4 because it's easy, but you got a bunch of other things too.
Side hustles happening, yeah.
But we'll just say 4 to keep it even. So we both worked 9 to 5 jobs. I was a director at an IT firm,
I was a manager at my company.
and then we both worked side jobs at the gym, at the Equinox Fitness Center. And the reason we both worked extra jobs is because we wanted to pay off $114,000 of debt. We wanted to do that as soon as possible. But the thing that people don't realize is that we were also building the cleaning business while we had 2 jobs between both of us, 4 jobs between both of us. So when people come in, one of their biggest concerns, especially my 9 to 5ers, right? This is mainly for you guys because you guys are our target audience because we were you when we first started. Now we might transition one day to focus on cleaning business owners, but at the end of the day, that's who we talk to for the most part. How to build a 9 to 5, how to build a cleaning business without cleaning houses outside your 9 to 5. Like that was like a premise of everything we taught inside of Cleaning Business University, right? So we had 4 jobs in between us, 7 to 4, and then like 5 to 10. So we worked a full day, and then we had to run a cleaning business outside of that.
So time management was a high priority for running this business and making sure that we were efficient. Now, it wasn't so clean because this was our first business, right? But now that we've been doing it for 7 years, and now that we've had other businesses, we can really speak more on what can help you to, manage it all, because it's a lot. Now, also, I do want to preface, when we first started, we didn't have any children. It was just us 2 and a dog. So it looked a little different than what it would look like now. But these are still things that we would need to do to make sure that.
And I don't want y'all to say, oh well, y'all didn't have kids. I can't do this because y'all didn't have kids. Because we've been through almost every version of the well, you don't have. So first it was, oh, you guys. First it was like you had no kids. So you could do all these side hustles because you got no kids. You could build these businesses because you got no kids. And then we had 1 kid. Oh, you can do this because you only have 1. Now we have 2. And a dog, right? And so we can only do this because we only have 2 kids. So yes, things get a little bit more challenging because of kids, but don't make the reason you don't do something because of your kids, right? That could be your strength or that could be your weakness. And I had to tell somebody that. I was like, oh, I got kids. And I was like, are you saying that because that's the reason why you want to do it or the reason you don't want to do it? Because you're making your kids your excuse or you're making them your strength. So you got to choose what that's going to be.
So if you're just joining us, we're talking about, strategies and things you can do to manage the business outside your 9 to 5. So let's hop right in. We're going to focus primarily on time management, as time is everything, right? The first thing is creating a schedule. How do you map out your day? I don't know if you guys do that. Like I like to write a checklist. I like to check things off. How do you manage your schedule at this point in your life? So mapping it out. There's work hours. You know that you have to work 9 to 5. Like that's guaranteed. That is staying stagnant. So what happens before then? What happens after then? You also have weekends. Are you getting up earlier? I see sometimes people say like they get up at like 5 a.m. and I'm like, ooh, yeah. But they want to get some things done before they start their day. So creating a schedule is important and mapping out your day so that you're fully present at your 9 to 5, right? But you still know that you have other things that you want to accomplish and that you want to do.
Let me know in the chat. Do you guys have a scheduled day before it happens? Having a schedule is one thing, but the scheduling the day before it happens is another. It's like when I just thought about that when you were saying about the 4 a.m. You don't just wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You got to schedule that I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 4 a.m. to go to the gym. So let me know in the chat if you guys have a scheduled day before it happens. And before you even have that day, the night before is just as crucial.
Taking out your clothes, filling your water bottle, you pack your lunch already, there's things happening before. Definitely.
So scheduling your work day before it happens is going to be super crucial as you build your business outside your 9 to 5.
And within that, just figuring out what your most productive times are. Okay. Within that, figuring out what your most productive times are. So, for example, if you're not a morning person, then possibly not working on the business in the morning. That doesn't sound like it makes sense, right? You may do it in the evening. If you realize, okay, the kids go to bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock, I can spend maybe 8 to 11 working on my business or whatever the case may be, that is when you want to do it. So you're definitely planning ahead. Everything, I used to be one that had a physical planner. Now I use my calendar a lot, but figure out what works for you. I know a lot of people are in the digital space of planning, but I think that the way I say it is, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. That's it. So everything is planned to the T when it comes to our household, when it comes to our business, when it comes to meetings, things like that. So calendar is necessary for us. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, I spoke about that. Just dedicating time and just figuring out when your best times are. Like, when are you most productive? Is it the morning? Is it during lunch? In the car? Is it at night? Is it at midnight? Whatever works for you. But planning that out and being efficient in that way. Create a schedule.
And if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. We can see them.
Yeah, you can see this.
YouTube is quiet tonight.
Yeah. Yesterday I asked where they're coming in from, so that
You guys can't post comments at some destination. You can't comment on YouTube.
Some destination won't get comments. That's probably what it is.
Sorry, YouTube. They cut off comments for some reason. I don't know. Try something different.
Along those same lines of planning ahead, picking a day to do that, as Anthony said, you don't wake up 4 o'clock and just like, okay, this is the day that I'm doing things. Whatever day that looks like, for most people, that's probably Sunday, and using some type of automation actually to help you. I mentioned a physical planner. You can use a Google Planner, Trello, Asana, any of those things that kind of help you to stay on track. I know a lot of people that take our course, a lot of our students are newer to entrepreneurship and newer to owning a business. So it's hard to structure their day, right? It's hard to kind of get into that mode if you don't necessarily do it all the time for your family or your job. So those are just some of the tools that we would suggest. Asana, Trello, Notion, Evernote, those are things that can definitely help you to stay on track, to checklist yourself, to make sure you did the things you said you were throughout the day, throughout the weeks, as you are building the business.
How many people use checklists? I'd be curious in that. You actually
checklists. Every time you say something, I'm like, did you write it down? Do you have a list?
And the funny thing is, I'm a very organized person, but I don't write a lot of things down.
I don't know how.
Like, I got a whole OneNote here and stuff like that, but I'm not a check things off type person.
And it feels good to check it off too.
The things that make me feel good, it's not the check off stuff.
It's actually doing the work.
It's actually doing the work. And that's the thing. So we gotta talk about actually doing the work. Like, that's
on the time management. We're building up to the work.
We gotta talk about doing the work, because this is when things get out of control. You start setting all these time blocks and all these routines, and you never get to the actual work. So we'll get to that part though.
Oh,
what happened?
No. So that was the first 2 things. We're talking about strategies for effective time management, which helps you to build your business outside of your 9 to 5. 1 was creating a schedule. 2, planning ahead. Picking that day, whatever it is, sit with your family, sit with yourself, and figure out what tools you're going to use. If it's just an old school checklist, if it's just an Excel, if it's one of these Notions, Evernote, Trellos, whatever it is, to get your business to the next step. Okay. The third thing is time blocking. And I actually really like this one because I bought back to just doing the work. I bought like a little timer that they have on Amazon where you can say how long you want a time block for. Yes, I can just use my phone and type it online. I understand that. But it's a time block that you say, like, I want a time block for like 10 minutes. It's another room. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever that looks like. And you just put it in front of you and you get to work. Time blocking is dedicating chunks of time to specific tasks. So I know when I was at work, I'm kind of like, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do that. But now that I'm not there, it's kind of like, okay, this time I'm going to focus on creating content. This time I'm going to focus on making sure our business is doing well, whatever that looks like. This time I'm going to focus on working out. So time blocking is really important. You can color code it to help yourself so that you know. And I think with the new update with the iPhone, they actually kind of help you do that with different calendars, color coding. But time blocking is so important. Anything you need to add with that? You started using the thing I bought.
Yeah, I was gonna get it, but they out there making too much noise.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a few ways that you can manage your time, and the reason that we're focusing on time management when it comes to having a 9 to 5 and then also building a business, because that's probably where most people they have a challenge. Mm-hmm. And I know for us when we first started, like for example, we would spend Saturdays. We knew Saturdays was the only day we could do interviews, because we were doing in-person interviews at one point. So we said Saturday is the only day we could do interviews, and we're not doing nothing else on Saturday. We're going to spend our time the full day doing interviews, right? And then
after we did phone conversations.
Yeah, after we did phone conversations and all of that stuff, right? But that was the one day we focused on doing this part of the business because we realized like people want to jump to like the VAs and the automation stuff, but you have to realize how much time you actually have in the day and utilize your entire day before you go and say, I need a VA or I need to go and put automations in or I want to go bring somebody else in to help me run my business. So those are the things that we definitely want you to focus on before you start talking about those things. So one of the questions that people always have is like, how do if I'm building a business, right? How am I answering like, phone calls? It's like if I'm at my 9 to 5, how am I answering phone calls? And the question is going to be, how many phone calls are you really getting while you're at your 9 to 5 when you first start? Most of the time, it's not that many. So you might, let's say you get to the point where you start getting one call a day. And I want to be honest, for us, one call a day in our cleaning business was all we needed. We was like, we're happy with one call. Like a lot is going on. We're happy with one call a day in our business, right? And then you get to a point where you start getting a little bit more, right? You might get 3, you might get 5. And then you start saying, okay, my business is too busy. I need to hire people because now I'm a business owner. I got 3 calls a day. Let me get a VA in and I'm just over flooded with work. In reality, when we go back and have these conversations with people, it's normally like you aren't doing some of the basic tasks in your business that could be done before you hire someone. It's kind of like when you have a cup, right? And your cup spills over and then it falls into another cup. That's when you hire someone. You don't wait till the cup is half full and say, you know what, I'm gonna go put another cup here. And then that cup is half full, I'm gonna go put another cup. No, let the first cup fully spill over into that second cup of business, and then you can talk about hiring somebody else to do your business to help you automate and outsource.
I'm like, these kids cutting up on me.
That's what they do. Every time I'm hosting a live workshop around this time, it's always a mess up here.
So if you're just joining us, we're speaking, as Anthony was speaking about, ways that you can manage this business, this cleaning business outside your 9 to 5. If you didn't know, we also have our crazy Black Friday sale right now. If you're on Instagram, you can just type the word BF and you get access to it. You'll get a DM that sends you a link. And if you're on YouTube, you can go to cleaningbusinessuniversity.com/learn. It is the lowest that our course is ever, okay, for the rest of the year. It's the lowest it will be. So be sure to tap in there. We covered creating a schedule, planning ahead, and time blocking. So the next thing is managing small pockets of time. So a lot of times, so this kind of, I won't say it contradicts time blocking, but it can go like, which one is it? So a lot of times we're like, well, if I don't have 2 hours to do the business, I ain't gonna do it, right? But do you have 45 minutes that you can work on? Do you have 30 minutes that you can work on in some capacity? So during your lunch break, can you reply to emails? Can you plan a social media content? Those 30 minutes you have, an hour. Can you listen to business podcasts to get more information? You know, all of these things. Can I tap in with someone in the community that I'm in? Those type of stuff are ways that you can definitely manage small pockets of time. It doesn't have to be a full Saturday for me to get ahead, right? It doesn't have to be a full 5 hours for me to get work done. And I know sometimes that's for me too. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not gonna get started because I only got 30 minutes. What's the point? Like the show yesterday. Someone said we only got 30 minutes before I go to bed. I was like, all right, let's start something. And you're like, why would you start something that's gonna be longer than the time that we have?
Listen to what she just said, guys. She said, I'm gonna start a show because I said you got 20 minutes. She said, I'm gonna start a show. But she's like, I won't start work if I only have 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's how I be.
And
so this is for me.
Let's talk about managing your time, right? If you have the ability to start a show, if you got 20 minutes to lock in on that show,
an hour.
You should be able to lock into your business for 20 minutes. We're gonna talk about that, prioritizing tasks too.
Okay.
No, I'm being real because when you have a job, you have to use your time as if it's not limited. Right. Your time is not unlimited at your 9 to 5. You have a certain amount of time there. You got a certain amount of tasks you have to do for your job. Like, we don't want nobody getting kicked out their jobs for their side hustles. That's the whole purpose of building this business when you first start as a side hustle. You want to be able to have the business, do its own little thing on the side while you keep your 9 to 5. People jump and say, I want to quit my job when your job is funding your lifestyle. Your job is funding your bills. Your job is funding your actual business until it's sustained on its own.
The next one is prioritizing tasks. So I like this one a lot too. And there's this content creator that I started following her stuff. Her name is Erin on Demand, and she has actually a notebook that says like top 3. And I try to utilize that in my life. So, for example, we all have a list of things that we need to do, and the list may be 10 things. But what are the top 3 things that you need to get done to move the needle, basically? What are those things that you need to move the needle? And that's what she kind of utilizes for that notebook, and that's something that I've been doing as well. Because we all go to the things that are easier and get it out the way quicker, and we wait for that thing that we feel is going to take the longest and push it to the last time, and then it's on to the next day. So, what is the prioritizing your task? What are the top 3 things that you can do to, get your business moving? So it says, for example, if I have 1 hour tonight, I'll work on closing a sale versus designing my website. That's for all y'all. That's for all y'all. That's like, I'm working on picking the colors of my logo. I'm working on doing all these other things when you could be doing things that actually start to bring you money and actually matter. Exactly. So yeah.
You always want to do
prioritizing tasks.
You always want to do something that's a revenue generating task. Revenue generating task. Put that in your notes. I'm writing that in your notes for that.
One of your favorite things. What are we doing today that is a revenue generating task? Outside of everything else.
RGT. Put that in your notes, y'all. Put that in your homework. RGT. When somebody asks you what you're doing in your business, that's the first. If you don't know what to do, you should always go back to RGT. What's a revenue generating task? So when we think about that, let's say you start prioritizing your time and you want to prioritize your task. And I talk about the Eisenhower matrix in our community a little bit. I'm going to share. Well, if you know.
Oh, you're about to get real tricky.
Yeah, this is why I'm here. They missed me yesterday.
No, but you're going to get tricky because we're on Instagram as well.
Well, Instagram should have been on YouTube. I can't share it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me try to share my other screen. This is why y'all missed me yesterday. Let me see if I can share my other screen.
Let me see what happens.
There we go. It's easy.
I'm looking at it.
Let me see. Is it sharing the other screen?
Huh?
Is it sharing the other screen?
Boom!
Let's see how it looks on Instagram for sure.
Oh,
okay. So this is the Eisenhower matrix, and they talk about.
Yep.
Oh wow.
It's small.
Let me see.
They could just see the big 4 things.
So the Eisenhower matrix, and you guys all need to kind of look into this one. So important task, urgent, not important. So from top to bottom right, do first, do later, delegate, or eliminate. So when you're trying to figure out the most important tasks that you need to do in your business, you need to write them down. Before you even get to this list, you need to write them down first. What is all the tasks you do in your business, right? Whether it's answering phones, whether it's writing emails, which we know you guys do, that's a revenue generating task. Picking up phone calls, making outbound sales calls, calling old leads. Like those are all important tasks, right? Are they urgent tasks? No, they're not urgent tasks. Are they delegating tasks because they're not important? Not right now. So they're probably a do later task. So it's probably not gonna be what you do for the next 30 minutes of your business, but what's the most urgent thing you do right now? If a lead just called you and you missed that call and you're like, yo, they wanted to book a cleaning, that's probably an urgent task. You need to do that now. A lead from 5-6 months ago following up with them, that's not going to be an urgent task. But if you do have leads over the last week or so, that would probably be more urgent task. So you add this matrix whenever you're lost. Let's say you do have that 30 minutes of lunchtime. You're like, what can I get done in 30 minutes? I want to let you guys know, when I was training for my half marathons back in Brooklyn, when I was in New York, we used to use my lunch break to run up to Central Park and back. Literally, that was like 6 miles and back, and shower and eat at my desk. Are you laughing at me?
I'm crying. What the hell?
I think you snickered at me.
No.
But the reason that was is because I'm like, it takes me an hour and a half to get home. I'm not going to run when I get home. I already got to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning to go to work. There's no time for me to run. I got to wait till the weekends to run. So I'm like, if I could get 6 miles in every single day, I'll be fine. And people at my job used to look at me like I was crazy, because like, well, why would you be running 6 miles every day? You come back sweaty, you go, and I was showering too. Oh, it felt like
I'm running real fast.
My time was like around 8. 8-minute mile. Then so I was cooking back then. That was like 40-minute run. Come back and shower for about 10. And then I eat at my desk. But my colleagues at work was like, "Yo, you never eat lunch with us," and I'm like, "Y'all just sit there and talk about the same BS every single day."
I got bigger things to do.
I could come back and listen to the last 10 minutes of the conversation. I knew what the last hour and a half was about, right? So utilizing your lunch breaks with the most important task. I'm talking about the cleaning business, right? So if you got a lead that you need to call back immediately, that's what you're going to do. If you got emails you need to write, that's going to be done. If there's sales copy needs to be changed, things like that in your cleaning business. So there's time to do the work. You just got to delegate. You just got to decide what's the most urgent task in your business using something like the Eisenhower matrix.
Thank you for sharing, sir.
Y'all like my screen share? I'm happy that Instagram gets to see that.
Yeah, it's like a presentation. It's cool. Let me see, where was I? So last one that we had here in regards to managing the business outside of your 9 to 5. Like I said, we are focusing right now on the time management piece of it. There are two other things that helps us to manage the business outside of our 9 to 5 at that time. Avoiding multitasking. So I'm iffy about that. I'm a big multitasker, but at the same time, you can't be giving your all to something if you're doing too much, right? So focus on one thing to be the most productive at a time. So I time blocked, I'm prioritizing my tasks. Now I'm just going to focus on that one thing, whatever that one thing is. I'm going to make sure that I have responded back to all of the leads that I had in Yelp. Or today is responding back to leads day. So Yelp, Google, Thumbtack, I'm going to make sure I respond back to all of these people. Whatever that looks like, focus on that. Somebody said, when I stop checking emails while creating content, I finish tasks faster and better. All of us are distracted. All of us are distracted by our phones, and we never just really just focus and lock in, as Alani said. We never just focus and kind of just lock in on stuff. So that's important to do so if you can, making sure you're blocking the time, then you're prioritizing your task and locking in on that thing for those hours, for that 30 minutes, whatever it may be, making sure you're doing that. So those are the 6 things that we suggest that you utilize to be effective with time management in order for you to continue to have a business, cleaning business, whatever the business is outside of your 9 to 5. Creating a schedule, planning ahead, time blocking, managing small pockets of time, prioritizing tasks, and avoiding multitasking. That is the 6 things for when it comes to time management. Any questions around that, I would say, of anything that we could suggest that we've done over the past 7 years as business owners?
And then we can even kind of get into the point where you discuss like leveraging automations. So when we started, we didn't have many tools that we have today. But I'll just say that. So now, for example, we have a tool called Tidy Track that allows you to, it could answer calls for you in your cleaning business. So for example, a call comes in, we haven't really put it out there, but there's an AI tool that we have coming with that one that we're talking about. But right now, the tool would be basic. Like let's say a call comes in, you miss it, they get an automatic missed call voicemail, or they get a missed call text saying, "Hey, sorry we missed your call. If you got any questions, you can go to our website, blah, blah, blah." So imagine you're at your 9 to 5, call comes in, the call gets missed, the client gets a missed call voicemail. So they call you, the call gets missed, and then they get a voicemail message saying, "Hey, this is such and such cleaning service. Sorry you missed your call. If you have any questions right now, you could visit our website at blah, 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 or you can check us out here." And that's one way you can now alleviate some of the burden of, oh, what if I get a bunch of calls coming in? But again, when you first start your business, you're not going to have many calls coming in. So that's not really the biggest burden. The other thing is, we talked about AI. We talked about, yeah, we could talk about VAs a little bit.
VAs are, I think, as you scale, I don't know that it's something at the very beginning. Like you said, some people ask, if I have a 9 to 5, how do I manage that? There's not that many calls coming in that you need to implement a VA right away. I'm going to be very frank with you. It just generally does not happen that way. Over time, yes, and you're buying back your time, then yes, a VA would be helpful to manage, being able to manage the business because it helps with leveraging automation and you not being the only face of every single thing. Starting out, you are everything. You are the cleaner to somebody on the phone, you're the manager, you're the owner, there's so many things. You're the marketer, you're all these things. And over time, you want to kind of get yourself out the business, and that's where a VA will kind of step in and help you out in that capacity.
And you probably shouldn't hire a VA for any business until you're doing like $10,000 a month. I'll probably say like $8,000 to $10,000 a month in your cleaning business, because they're not gonna have enough work for you.
Yeah, you're not gonna have enough work for them.
Yeah, you're not gonna have enough work for them, and they're gonna be sitting on the sidelines. You're gonna be like, oh, they're not making their money's worth, and then you're like, well, it's really on you. Every time we have a conversation with a person before they hire a VA, or before they need a VA and they actually hire them, we have the conversation. We really show them they don't need one. They've got to manage their time better. They magically find the time to run their business. I'm telling you, your time is best used running your business. Now, if you have the funds, which is totally fine, go ahead, do what you're gonna do. Like make that VA sit there on that clock, right? That's fine. But just know that it's gonna sit there on the clock. You gotta find a task for them to do while you grow the business. So another question you're gonna have is like, well, cleaners keep reaching out to me while I'm at my 9-to-5 job. And then the question is going to be, what are they reaching out to you for?
Is there things that you can put in place that they don't need to reach out to you for? Or did you hire this person correctly so they can be a bit more independent versus relying on you? So there are some things that you may have to reflect and say, I keep getting the same question, and how can I automate this? How can I make sure they have this information rather than them keep reaching out to me?
That was a task I had a person do. We went through and audited. I said, I need you to go back to them, wait for it in the next 7 days, and tell me how many phone calls come into your business. So they was like, let me give you guys an example. They said, I'm too busy to pick up the phone calls in my business, and I don't call people back. I said, okay, understood. Let's go back for let's listen to the next 7 days of business, right? Let's see how many phone calls come in. That's number one. How many phone calls come into your business? Of those phone calls that come in, how many were legit, actual people looking for services, and it wasn't spam? I said, okay, of those people, how many were in your area? And they said, okay. And I was like, of those calls, how many could you not have called back if they were missed? That they were ready to book right then and there, or were you able to book them after? We went back and we realized that they were able to book almost every single person, and they just had that missed call text back, right? So they didn't even need to pick up the phone for every person. They just realized that they wasn't calling people back at all. They was like, well, I just assumed I was going to miss them since I missed them the first time. Now, that's not ideal.
They might have moved on, but it doesn't guarantee that. You definitely want to make sure to still reach out.
And mind you, it was only like 7 calls for the week.
Did somebody say they were too busy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 7 calls for the week. Yeah, that's not a lot. But
it wasn't more than 10 out of the week.
Okay.
They never came back with the actual number, but they was like, yeah, you'd be mad if I told you.
We're those people that are just joining, we were talking about effective strategies to manage your business outside of your 9-to-5. We went in detail about the time management side of it. That's where we prioritized about. That's usually what people say they don't have enough of. So we spoke about how you can manage that, and we just touched on leveraging automations. And the last part of it is building a support system. So, when you're starting a business, I know a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't like to put my business out there and I don't like to tell people what I'm doing, but you just never know what you telling someone can do and how someone can help you, right? So we've had students where she had like 30 bookings in her first month. And the reason was because she told everyone that she had a cleaning business there, that she opened up. But building a support system could be like mentorship, accountability partners, and that's something that I would say our community specifically does really well. We have a cleaning business community where people are in there just encouraging each other, answering questions, things like that. And don't forget to get it during our Black Friday sale at cleaningbusinessuniversity.com/learn. But having those accountability partners to hold you accountable, to let you know, I'm going through the same thing, I'm doing this, this is what works in my area, this is what I'm stuck on. So building a support system while you're building a business, I would say is really crucial. We had each other to lean on, but even then, even now with our different businesses, we have coaches, we have other people, because we don't know it all, right? We don't pretend to know it all. And so there is something that somebody else knows that can help you and maybe change the trajectory of your entire life, your business and your entire life. But you're just too busy saying, like, I don't want to tell everybody my business. So building a support system and just leveraging relationships as you meet people. We say that we need to have more in-person events so that we can really connect with people and our students can really come together outside of what they're just doing in the community, because there are, different people and relationships that you can gain in other ways, maybe even outside of the community. So,
And sometimes you gotta pay for mentors. Like we literally just paid a mentor $10,000, and it wasn't there was no guarantee. It wasn't an outline program. It was none of that. It was like, yo, like you're paying for my access. You're paying for my direct access, my direct knowledge, and it's worked tremendously.
Yeah, it was worth it.
But I want to say people are, and it wasn't like anything that we didn't know already. It was like, yo, just got to do this, and showing us that it already worked because they were doing it, right?
It's possible. That's another thing too. What kind of really part
Yeah.
coaches can allow for you to know that it's possible. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I know that's so cliche, but it's so true.
We want to sit on the sidelines for so long and then wonder why we can't get to our goals. And I don't want to say how much money it had made us, but it was a significant amount of money. But the problem was, it was like you sit on the sidelines and the person was like, yo, you don't want to pay me, I'm good. And it's like, I understand why you have that energy, and I kind of feel that energy sometimes too. But sometimes we got to get out of that mindset when we try to figure everything out alone. Like you can try to YouTube this stuff, you can try to Google this stuff, but you can't YouTube and Google someone's mistakes, like personal mistakes they've made, and thousands and thousands of dollars in money, but then also hundreds of hours of time trying to figure things out, right? So we did the 9 to 5 thing when we ran our business, and we had to sneak out and stuff like that. Now we're like, oh, there's automations that we give our students that could help them get there a lot faster than we did, right? We just had a student hit 100K in 8 months. It took us
over a year.
I think a year and a half.
It wasn't a year. Has it been a year? We did 74.
I can show you right now.
But
I like to pull up the stats.
Don't share that screen.
That screen's not being shared.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
it might be.
Personal information on there for people. What was I saying?
I have no idea.
Oh, you were talking about how long it took us. But yeah, paying sometimes for mentorship, paying for what you need to build that support system so that you don't make those mistakes is just as important when it comes to managing the business. So that's kind of what we wanted to touch on, managing your business.
So this is a year.
Yeah, that was only 71.
So year, let's go to.
So those are the things. Oh, not even.
Nope.
So it's
2.
So that was a year and 3 months. A year and 3 months it took us to hit 100K. We had a student today say that it took them 9 months to hit 100K. And that's the power of building a support system and leaning into mentorship and buying the course and actually doing the work, as Anthony was saying. Students are crushing it, and that's the whole point of it. You should be ahead of us. You should get there faster, right? Because you're getting the information that we didn't have at one point. So kudos to you guys for that. But so we spoke about managing your business outside of your 9 to 5 by time management, by leveraging automations, and also by building a support system. Those are the 3 things we discussed. Yesterday we spoke about the benefits of the cleaning business, and tomorrow we continue to go on with our series of our celebration of 7 years.
We live all week, baby. We live all week. What questions you guys got? What comments? What concerns?
Now it's time for questions. We have a few more minutes before we head downstairs to the kids.
You guys,
so what questions do you have?
For my people who are interested in learning more about Clean Business University, again,
on Instagram, type the word BF.
Type the word BF, you will get our early Black Friday discount on our signature course, Clean Business University, where we have taught people all across the United States, some in Europe, some in Canada, how to launch remote cleaning businesses without cleaning houses. They've done over $14 million in revenue. They've done over 50,000 jobs, and they have 42 plus.
You said all over America.
Okay,
so that covers it.
Yeah, I forgot that stat. That's an important stat.
That covers it, yeah, because somebody's wondering if you can work in your area. So, what questions do you guys have, if any? We will be back again tomorrow. I'm trying to see what the topic is tomorrow.
Is anyone, actually, you know what? We can put the calendar with you. Do you want to talk, if anybody wants to join Clean Business University and they're on the fence and want to talk to one of our team members, let me know in the chat. And we could drop our team's calendar link. Appreciate you, Brad.
I gotta get that to someone. Yeah, stay right there, brother. Yeah. So tomorrow we are talking about longevity of the business. So we want a business that lasts. How do you build it? How does it thrive for years, right? Because we're not just doing this to, to have it for 5 months, to have it for a year. Maybe the goal is to sell it. Maybe the goal is to pass it down to family and friends. So we're going to talk in detail tomorrow about, building that business and keeping it for years to come. How do you build a sustainable business, essentially? Like I said, a lot of our students are new to entrepreneurship, new to owning a business the first time, as it was for us 7 years ago. And so we really like to talk about those topics that we know you kind of feel like I don't know where to go for the answers, or how can I get ahead in that regard. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow.
It's crazy. If you think about the time it is right now, everybody that's on it, think about the time of the year it is right now. This is the busiest time of the year. You telling me we launched a business during this time?
Yeah.
Looking back, this is
a lot during this time. Maybe it's just the season. God is like, you guys like to work in chaos.
Most people are like, yo, I'm gonna wait till the new year.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that's like, we're gonna wait till now.
Yeah, you definitely are like, why you gotta wait till Monday to start the diet? Start right now.
Listen, there are reasons that God forces you to do things. And unfortunately enough for me, God forced me to do things when it comes to my mind. And during that time, I was like, yo, we're ready to launch. And we launched this week in 2017, which is absolutely nuts. Everybody's Black Friday shopping and all that. We talking about launching a business.
And then we got our first, we have that video that we put that on the page, but we got our first sale right when we was about to leave to go Black Friday shopping. We
got our first client. Because think about it. This is the busiest time of year, and most people are consumers. Most of you guys on here will be buying stuff.
Something, yeah.
You will be buying stuff. Unfortunately, you won't be making money during this time. It's just the nature. We're going to spend more money than we actually make during this time. Unless you are a creator. Creators create, which means that they give what they create to the world, and people consume it. You could be a creator or a consumer. We decided this year we were going to be creators, and we created the business and we launched it. And then we created consumers of our creation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Any questions that you guys have? I think the question came in. Somebody said there's several prices at discount. Can you explain the discount pricing? So there are 3 different options on ways that you can be part of Clean Business University.
Oh,
the first way is.
Hold on, I can share my screen.
Okay. Share.
This is cool.
Yeah, it's literally a presentation. I'm just hoping to check it. No.
Cool. There we go. Present.
So Albert, we're gonna explain it for you in.
Albert was just somewhere. Albert was in the DMs or something the other day.
Yeah. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're following as well. I mean, subscribing, not following, subscribing.
Oh.
Okay. Let's scroll down. Let's see, I'm going to scroll to them, but you can set the process for you too. Okay, it's good now. Oh, you're over here.
So when you go to cleaningbusinessuniversity.com/sales page.
Okay. For you to get to it, yeah.
Okay.
You know the stuff.
I'm monitoring the amazing work we did to create this page.
Well, here it is. There's 3 different packages, and this is what Albert was asking about, or maybe some of you have the same question as to which one works for me, right? So we have the starter package, which is at $797. Those are for people that just want to take the course and do it on their own. They're like, I can do this independently. Maybe you have other businesses. Maybe you're like, I'm one that I know that I can take the course and really excel if I move along. Not many of you can do that. I'll be very frank with you. Not many people can finish the course when they're doing it alone. So,
because what happens with this one is that you either never when you open it, you stop eventually, and then you got to question it. You don't know where to go. So you'll hop into DMs, and we get hundreds of DMs.
We got a community for that,
and you get lost.
Right. So that's the first one, but we gave the option for people that feel they can do that independently. Then we have growth, where most people are going to land, and that is the course along with a year-long access into our community. Now, our community has about 150 plus students in there, along with us, along with our team, and we do Q&As. We have guest experts in there. There's questions asked all the time. I always tell people 96% of the questions you ask that you have a question about is in that community. We've had this community for over 4 years, so all of the recordings that we've done is in there. So I'm talking like over 50, 60 hours of information. Do I expect you to go through all that? No, but the information is there. And community is kind of what helps you to move along. We spoke about that when we spoke about building a support system.
One of the amazing leaders that are in the community, Corey, he's
here.
He's in
and I think I saw Janice.
Janice is on Instagram. So,
yeah.
and
So
they even lead their own call, right?
Yeah,
So
we have student-led conversations, them, other couples, and other people doing the same thing, along with us going in there and answering the question. And you get access for a year into our community with the course.
So the major thing with that one is that the community itself is $97 a month by itself. Oh, Jenna's on YouTube.
Oh, she's on YouTube.
So the community itself is $97 a month. So if you do the community, if you do this option here, plus the $97 a month, you still don't even get this, right? It's still, I think it's still like $1,600, something like that. So you get the discount there.
Yeah, and that's our growth. And then the last one is our scale, where some people just like, I just want closer access. I want to accelerate at things. 2025 is getting started, and I don't have games to play. So I want to be connected closer to you guys. Where you get the course, you get the year-long community, and 8 weeks of live group coaching is included with that. And that is a call that is held every week from Anthony, where he goes into details. It's a smaller group, maybe like 5 people, if that, where you can really get your questions answered in a more detailed capacity. So those are the 3 options that you have if you decide to join us on this Black Friday. $7.97, $12.97, and $24.97.
And even with this $24.97 option, you click the link here. If you wanted to do a buy now, pay later,
you have that option.
You have
it's the
that
only
option.
one that
It's
you
the
have
only
the
one that has the option for.
To do Afterpay, Klarna, what are they? Affirm, yeah. Those are the only ones that you have with that option. That bigger package, you can, yes, it is a steal. It is a steal, Black Friday steal that is happening now. So if you want that access, go ahead. As soon as you hop in, you get access to the course. If you buy in the community, you get access to the community. It happens automatically via email. So if you're on Instagram, like we said, you can just type BF. If not, you can go to indivisuniversity.com/learn and hop right in, tap in with us. What questions do you guys have?
Oh, that was a presentation.
Yes.
I love the way that looked.
I'm not sure. Somebody said you did it. I don't know what you did. Oh, presented it right. Okay. But yeah, that is all we have for tonight. You guys know where to find it. Mm-hmm.
So the reason it's such a big deal is because this platform didn't let you stream on Instagram previously. So I was on the game about that. You gotta get other platform they got. So now the platform that we use allows you to stream on Instagram while you're streaming on YouTube. You can also stream on Facebook as well. We ain't
too much on the screen. They're in that complex yet, huh? But that's it for the night for us. We will be back again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thursday, Thanksgiving at 12 p.m. and then Friday at 12 p.m. We will be back answering questions, providing information. If you're on the fence, you know where to find us. Send us a DM. You can get on our team's calendar, and they can answer any additional questions you may have and get you enrolled into Cleveland Business University this week so that you are launching by the new year.
Oh, and just a note, as we get closer to Black Friday, the price goes up. Albert.
Payment plan is for the higher package.
So Albert, shoot us a message. We can talk about it. We can figure that out. Yes, we did it. Thank you, Boss Babe NYC. New York in the house. What up?
Okay, let me go see what these kids talking about.
All right, y'all. Well, this is day 2. Appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm feeling better, getting over the flu, but I'm here. Janoka held it down yesterday. Definitely, I was watching it from behind the scenes. So appreciate y'all guys tapping in. We will be here on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Tomorrow, 7 p.m. See you there.
Hope you guys are gearing up for your holidays.
Safe travels.
Safe travels. And we'll see you next time. If you got any questions that we didn't get to tonight, I will spend a couple minutes in the DMs. Shoot us a message if you got any questions about anything, and we'll get to it.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Later.